see, we've been doing this now for 12 years. I think this is the first time that Dr. Fang said to me, well, let's start early. And I know that's because I still have brownie frosting on my hands and the cookies aren't dusted yet, so of course we're going to start early tonight. Welcome to Jidalman. It's that time of the year when lots of people send us notes on Facebook saying, oh, I'll be there in spirit. I wish I were there. I'll be there next month. And it's one of the things that we really appreciate about what I call sort of the floating Tao of Jidaoism. You all are here because you're supposed to be. And other folks are at a campfire or water skiing or doing family reunions because they're supposed to be. That's all just fine. One of the things that we have the blessing to be able to do is to film the study of the Tao with Dr. Alex Fang. Thank you, Shannon. And they then are posted on our new and glorious website so that you can go in and listen to them, download. I believe we have about 18, goes back about 18 months of Friday nights when everything was working right. For those of you who know about the energy of Taoism, we had quite a time ever trying to capture Dr. Fang on video. First we tried just the audio because we were going to transcribe in these glorious visions of putting everything down on paper, right? And more often than not, there wasn't a battery. The amplifier didn't pick up, or it picked up, but it was just garbly and scratchy. And so we're like, this just can't happen. And Dr. Fang reminded us that Taoism is an oral tradition. So that's just as it should be. Why are you worried? And so we sort of let that go. And then one night I was telling that story. And someone in the front row came up to me after the class and said, you know, Charlene, I am a little embarrassed to admit this, but I brought a tape recorder and I put it in my pocket. And it's really good, so I'm sure it worked. And I've captured Dr. Fang on CD. I said, well, great, let's hear it. So she turned it on, and sure enough, there wasn't anything there. So with the blessing of, I can't remember if it's Sony or Canon, but we have been able to overcome the energy of the Tao so that it actually is filmed and you can hear the video by just dialing in on our website. Welcome. We're just getting started. So you're at Jidaoguan, which is the view of the ultimate way, and as Dr. Fang likes to say, it's really a perspective, a place to come together and talk about the Tao from the perspective of Grand Master Weibin Fang, pictured above Dr. Alex Fang's head with a younger Dr. Alex Fang. And Dr. Weibin Fang is Dr. Alex Fang's father, a noted Taoist scholar and philosopher who coined the term Jidao because he really wanted to be able to have a way to talk about Taoism that it could reach everybody. I mean, he had great notions of the whole universe, but he sort of started in Oakland after they moved here from China. And we have a box full of his writings in which he would put down his ponderings and his thoughts about what is Taoism and what is Jidaoism. And you'll see that in the pamphlet each month we always put in one of his sayings from those little books. I'm a little handicapped with him because he is Chinese. He studied and got his doctorate in Germany, and then he came to the United States. So about a third of it's in English, a third of it's in Chinese, and a third of it's in German. So one of our long-term goals would be to try and get the whole thing translated, but right now we use these as his gift and his guiding light to us. Jidaoism is something that then goes back many decades, but its expression here at the center is one that was created by Dr. Alex Fang, a noted Taoist master, Qigong master, and traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. And if you've studied the Tao, you know that one of the principles is that your goal is not to transcend or reach magic enlightenment, but it's really to find a way to integrate your physical, your spiritual, and your health or your healing self. And so that's really Dr. Fang's vision for the center, is to have a place where you can come and do 100 sinking stances and learn how to touch your foot behind your head. Or you can come and get needles or tuina and herbs and work on healing yourself through the traditional Chinese medicine practice. And, I almost said or, but I meant and. You can come and be with us the last Friday of the month for the study of the Tao. So I'm delighted you're here. As I was trying to get through my work day today, I was pondering the age-old question, which in any company in America today we have to ponder. How do I do more and more work with fewer and fewer people? And I happened across this productivity guru by the name of David Allen. I don't know if any of you are familiar with his work or not, but he's done a book and several books and seminars after that on what he calls getting things done, GTD. And he has all these tips and techniques on how to do it. But his major thesis, which made me think of an application for tonight, was that we all stay so busy doing that it's really hard to get time to do. And by that, he says that most of us walk around in our busy days and we keep our laundry list in our mind. All the things that we think are our priorities and those things that sneak in because maybe they aren't priorities, but they're still important to us, or they're unresolved. And his contention is that as long as you leave your mind cluttered and filled with all the things you're supposed to do that you can't forget, that you really lose your creative energy to focus on the doing. So of course he has a whole system, and he has lots of products to support that, where you create an in-basket of your priorities for the day, and it has to be physical, a computer file or a manila folder or a sticky note in your in-basket, and that you only put there physical, visible things that you can do that day to move each of your priorities to the next step. So I thought, oh, that's an interesting thought. I could try that with my staff. But then I started thinking about its application to our spiritual lives. And I'm always somewhat surprised when people come and talk with Dr. Fang, and they're very appreciative of the Taoist teachings and what they learn here. But then the next weekend, they're off to listen to a guru or a special meditation or something like that. And while I appreciate the richness of it, I wonder if it isn't sort of an application of our busyness of doing. That we take a class, we try one night at the Taoist Center, we read a book, we talk with our friends about what path they're following, and we carry all of that around with us. And so I was trying to think of what it would look like if I had a filing system for spirituality. And I started thinking that one of the ways for me to do that is to really think about in my own spiritual life what's of utmost importance to me. And for me, and this will sound familiar to any of you who have been to Dr. Fang's classes, it is to be comfortable with myself. And being comfortable with myself means that spiritually, I'm at home with where I am, with what I've chosen. I'll still look at other things, I'll still talk with other folks. But I really want to focus on the depth and learning more about the path that I've chosen. So each of you might have your own sticky notes or your manila folder file that might work for you. But I sort of leave you with the thought that the whole idea of Taoism, or following that path, is to be able to have a really deep sense of yourself and to actualize your deepest, if you will, heart. Those spiritual things that bring you peace, that leave you at home with yourself. And then it's really hard to do that if we're forever sampling or keeping ourselves busy. I had to laugh. One of my friends called tonight on my way here, and I used my Bluetooth. And she said, you know, I just can't get my body there. I'll be there in spirit. I just can't get my body there. That's fine, you know. So I said to her, so you can dial us up on the internet, but she won't. But she'll have the intention, and she will periodically talk with me about how I really do need to meditate, and I need to learn how to do that. But, and this is what Dr. Fang would call creating your own obstacles, putting your own self in the way of what you really want to achieve. So anyway, those are sort of my long thoughts, and the brownies are frosted, and there's a little bit on your flyer, sorry about that. But with that, I'd like to turn the class over to Dr. Fang.
Thank you, Charlene. She said everything that needed to be said. Including frosting. The frosting is important. Welcome, everybody. Just a thought, though, in what you said.
Yes.
Which was, not only are we here for healing our body, healing our spirit, healing our minds, and healing healthy and all that, but I mentioned something about not in the place of like realization. And I would say, yeah, why not? Why not also leap into that space and explore? And certainly in the realm of Taoism, to explore. And to explore health, explore your mind, explore limits, beyond limits, explore. And why not explore the realm of the spirit? Why not? Don't make a big thing out of it. It's just a practice. You are what you practice. And Sharia said this is a place of a perspective. We teach a perspective, a view, an outlook. That's all. Nothing difficult, complex. This place is called Zhidao Guan. Zhi means ultimate. Glorious, extreme, far out. All of that. Tao. Tao, of course, as you know, has a huge implication. Tao can be path, right? Where you walk, how you lead your life, or how your life is led. One perspective, a view. 知道观, ultimate, and the character 知 is written as two lines, one on top, one on the bottom, and this. In the middle is either a circle, a triangle, or a cross, symbolizing differences. So you have an open-ended line, right, that has differences in the middle. Meaning, differences are defined by this time frame as I move. And sometimes it's like this, sometimes like this, sometimes like this. It doesn't matter. It's a matter of time frame. You put in a frame, you judge yin and yang. The Taoists say, yin and yang is the birth of all things. All things are yin and yang. If we choose to have a perspective of I and you, I versus you, or you versus I, or us, or we. So if you have a perspective of differences, you can create multi-worlds. We can create many worlds just by making differences. But I would say, well, let's take a brief pause and go back to a place before differences. We call it Wuqi, the great void. Yin Yang is all of this. Everything you see is Yin Yang. Everything you create in your mind is Yin Yang. So before that is a place called Wuqi. Wuqi is like, nothingness. But nothingness is not like, duh, well, I'm tired of nothingness. It's not that kind of nothingness. It's like alive. It's totally alive, sparkling, ready. Yeah? Then you become aware of that. That's Tai Chi. That's Tai Chi. You're separated from that readiness into recognition of something. Tai Chi. So Wuji, Tai Chi, Yin and Yang, the world is born. That's the foundation of Taoism, Taoism, an understanding of how to view the world, how to view yourself. Yeah? So Shaolin talked about organizing your mind. And the Taoists actually say, too much work. Do as little as you can, but get a lot done. That's the idea of Wu Wei. And we talk about, those of you read about Wu Wei. Wu means nothing, Wu Ji, nothing. Wei, for the sake of. For the sake of nothing. Wu Wei means for the sake of nothing, meaning don't desire, wish for, anticipate, want a response. I want a reaction. No need. So, the character of Tao is written as a self that moves, and there's a line representing two schools of thoughts. Here we are, yin yang again. Haven't seen you for a while. Yin yang. What was I?
Between two schools of thought. It's a
Say it again.
a self that's between two schools of
The
thought.
self that, what is it?
A self that is in between two schools
Yes
of
and
thought.
no. The second radical is the self that is, it's really important to know this kind of symbols because it teaches you the view. Once again, so understanding the view. It's no different than what I just described before. Open-ended boundaries that moves around with yin and yang in between. Recognizing that. The Tao, the self that moves, so that's operative word. This character means move. The character Zi means self. The character radical, this means move. 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 There's a head, there's movement, and there's a disappearance. Move. Yeah. There's a line above the self. That line represents two schools of thoughts. Yin and yang once again, for the sake of yin and yang. One school of thought is harmony. Harmony. A second school of thought is above. Move above, transcendence of yin and yang, differences. 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 The self that moves either in harmony or above, transcendence of differences. Differences. My father used to say, if you call this yin, this is yang. But if you call this yin, and this is yang, it's just a hand. If you call it a hand. Yeah? The whole concept of Wuji is nothing. I was once at a party, and someone from Spirit Rock asked me, what is Taoism grounded in? What is your foundation? And without thinking, I said, nothing. I like that joke. So we say, not only organize your mind, come to a place where you have no mind. No mind. No mind doesn't mean you don't think. It doesn't mean you don't think it, no, not like that. Not like that. Just Wu Wei. Not for the sake of. Don't think for the sake of. Just think. you can lay out a million things of yin and yang. So we say, don't do it for the yin and yang. Everything you name, 名可名非常名，道可道非常道。名可名, that which can be named, you name it. Must. If you name it, man, woman, then you're stuck. You're stuck in the world of yin and yang. So we say, just for the sake of naming, we name it. Don't get trapped with that process. Don't. So far, okay? Not so hard, basic stuff. So that usually means at some point we're going to want you to do a talk. Because you know it already. You want to hear it. We encourage you to speak and explore in the realm of Taoism. We encourage that. Talk about it. Chat about it. Yap about it. You know. So, where was I? Where was I?
For the sake of naming.
Hmm?
For the sake of naming. But don't
For the
get
sake
trapped.
of naming. Where was I? And so we say, thoughts, without thoughts. Organized thoughts. So get rid of 杂念. 杂念 is chop suey thoughts. 杂念 is like chop suey. Get rid of your chop suey thoughts. I had a patient that came and said to me, I have this reoccurring, repeated dream. In this dream, I was a young child, and my mother was very mean to me, and was yelling at me, screaming at me. My sister was playing on the side, and I grabbed my mom, pushed her against the wall, and said, in this deep, dark, her words, evil words came out saying, this kind of control has to stop. And she is very upset about that. So, just the other day I was giving a talk at a school where ministers learn other culture and religion and thought form and beliefs so that they can counsel others in the spiritual path. So I posed the question to the class. Now that you're learning this kind of stuff, here's a person coming with this question. How would you deal with it? I welcome you. You also to say something. And that's the lesson.
What was the question?
Yes, what's asked?
What was the question? The question, to reframe for you, is that if you had a situation of a person coming to you and saying to you, I had this recurring dream, and it upsets me very much. And in this dream, my mother was screaming, yelling at me, doing harm to me. My sister was playing on the side. And that at some point, this force came out at me. Evil force, a disturbing force. While I grabbed my mom, pushed her against the wall and said, this kind of control has to stop. And the dream is over, but this keeps coming back, and she's very upset about it. So I threw it to that class of students, and I said, how would you deal with this if you were in the realm of spiritual teaching and spiritual guidance? what would you say? If you had a Taoist perspective, what would you say? That's all, it's an exercise. Yes.
Well, I would say that the victim and the abuser role are just two sides of the same coin, and it's just a hand. I don't know how to say it's just a hand. It's just when they recognize that one cannot exist without the other, then they can both disappear. To me, that's my experience.
You would say to the person,
I would say it would be hard to make the person understand, but I would say to the person, if you experience yourself also as an abuser and as a victim, you are your own abuser and you're your own victim, and those two need each other. And I would suggest integrating it. I don't know if I've gone beyond Taoism to the point where it's integrated or not.
any other thoughts?
To continue with that idea, or similarly maybe, one question that comes to mind just when you said that is what has to stop? So I was just thinking in terms of motion, you were talking about motion earlier, and so the person's in process of some sort, so I'm wondering what it is that needs to stop, and whether sort of from an integrated point of view, something could just continue and move somewhere else.
So you're asking, how do you identify it and capture it?
Yeah, I don't really understand the crisis. I know that there's a sense of a crisis.
Enough. What do you need? A sense of crisis is crisis.
Wonderful to be in your presence.
You have to, I am a little deaf, so you just
Wonderful to be in your presence. The little understanding I have of Tao is that we all have it, that it's present in all of us, and that if we...
What is present in all of us?
That silence, that place of what you're calling nothing, that live nothingness, that alive, that life, and that perhaps when we believe that is in everyone, in every place, that we can leave a space of silence for that person, assuming that only they can really know what that means to them, but give them the space and the silence and the stillness and the presence of ourselves.
A suggestion, okay? This is what we call incantational in Taoism. You set a spell, and the spell is.
I said this still, I think I said
Yeah, the spell is, I'm going to put a spell on you, and the spell is stillness. And the stillness has nothing to do with all the stuff that you're worried about. It's just one form. It's just one form. And yet there are many forms. One form is understanding, putting things in perspective. You are no different than your experiences. You're no different than your dream. You're no different than your mom. You're no different than your sister that you're upset about but never said anything about. All is there, so there are ways of dealing with all of that. And yes, you are. You were going to say something. Somebody was going to say something.
I would ask her.
Oh yeah, you asked the question.
Yeah, I would ask her, why did you call it evil?
Yeah. That's another path. Right? If you recognize it just a path, why do you call it evil? Why do you call it good? Why do you call it successful? Why do you call it whatever, yin and yang? You're still in that realm, so it's easier just to cut the realm.
Because in my inner dialogue as the counselor, I would think, she doesn't think she's evil, obviously.
So she feels that this is something that is not a part of her, and that's what is attached to her to this dream. That's what's kept her connected to it. So maybe by asking this leading question, she may realize that this voice does not seem to be speaking evil. I mean, from my perspective at least, I don't know what hers is, but it does not seem to be acting, she's not doing anything evil.
So you're suggesting that she shifts her consciousness from one place to another place, right? From a belief of evil to an unbelief of evil, a shifting of consciousness.
It's like the Buddhist ideal of non-attachment, right? If she lets go of it, she lets it just be what it is, a voice speaking something,
Yeah.
then it should not hold on to her, or she won't hold on to it, rather.
Yeah. Both. Perfect.
I might ask her to try embracing the dream instead of trying to like push it away or see it as something outside of her that's fearful. To just like try to not condition her mind, but try to make herself ready for the dream in like in a way where she's embracing it when it happens.
How
So
would she do that?
I don't know. I was thinking about.
Don't say I don't know. Like
Well-
I already said.
Mhm.
It's a good place to start, but you don't have to say it. It's understood. It's understood. We come from a place of wuchi. I don't know. You have to be comfortable with that. Charlie mentioned, be comfortable with yourself. You have to be comfortable with, I don't know. Then you say something.
Well, if there's an external force and you're fearful of it, just through Tai Chi, I realized that you need to invite it in and let it come in, and that way you can start working with it.
Meaning there's no difference between outside and inside.
Mm.
You absorb the outside to the inside. Is that correct? Am I interpreting you correctly?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Sounds good. Yes.
I mean, like, it sounds like the dream has to is coming from something like in her life, you know? Like that's really personal, you know? And like, I think only she would be able to identify what's causing this dream to keep occurring. And I think when she got to the root of it, she'd be able to come to terms with it. You know
I
what I'm saying?
agree with you totally. But
But
your
like,
job is to be
I
able
think
to...
I just asked
Your
you a
job,
question.
your job, or your vision quest is to be able to like shine the light. Maybe this will work, like, you know, maybe you will shift consciousness, maybe you will recognize that you and all this. Your job is to say, maybe, what would come out of you about the maybes of the past.
I guess I'd ask her questions like,
Don't guess. That's
I would.
understood. All this is understood. So it's just, so that's the hardest part of all of this, is that you have to like me, right now.
I'd be like, why do you think you're having this dream?
Or what does this dream mean to you?
All that is good. All that is good. Allows traveling to a space where you connect consciousness to dream consciousness. Right? You recognize what your dream really means. Just once again, a play of consciousness, which we all know about.
Like if I were speaking to someone, if someone approached me, I think the first thing would just be, are you upset about it now? Because it's, all these reoccurring things from my past and when I was younger. And I think maybe the first thing I would ask is, what's going on now? Are you upset about it when you talk about it now?
I like it.
Is it? Because then maybe she could see that it's not attached to her. I mean, she can kind of just be in the moment and maybe it would disappear, or who knows what would happen.
Yes, I agree. Explore. Yeah. Embrace. shift of consciousness, different path, different ideology, ideas. So we say, yes, all good. Well, it's just for a second. Nothing. Yeah. Just for a second. You ready? Just a wave of a hand. Ready? Come back. It's like that. You go to Wuchi just like that. You come back to consciousness. Otherwise, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Go ahead and close your eyes. What do you see? Look inside. Look inside with your eyes closed. Close your eyes and look inside. Inside looking. 内视. We call this 内视. I want you to look inside. You're doing advanced technique. Stay with basics first. Look inside. Don't be nervous. No need to shake your legs. No need to be anxious about anything. In a way, you're free. You don't need to be agitated, angry, or jealous, or anything. You're free. You're not even bored. You're not even bored. You slow down. You slow down even more. It leaves the twitching away from your foot. It leaves the twitching away from your neck. It leaves the twitching from your toe. Toes. Toes. Your foot. Your foot. If you want to class, then be in class. Otherwise, just come for the cookies or the frostings. It's fine. It's all fine. But if you're going to be in class, be in class. Don't be fidgeting and having chapsui thoughts. Eyes closed. Eyes closed. Inner looking. Yeah. And then when you open your eyes, this is what you see. Yin and yang. This is yin and yang. Open your eyes. You have yin and yang with internal look too, but it's different than this look. This is yin and yang. This is it. This is Taoism. There are many styles of Taoism because of interest. So some are really into healing. Some are really into movement, dancing. Some are really into incantational, recognizing spells, breaking spells. Some are really into observational. They look at the stars, they look at the earth, they look at the movement of the water and the wind. They look at not just the external feng shui, but they look at internal feng shui. I mean, the nature of what you wear, how you sit, everything. They'd like to see this look. There are ritualistic Taoists. Ritualistic Taoists are those who show the gratitude at all times. It's a ritual. Anything you do is a ritual. Brushing your hair is ritual. How you eat is ritual. Everything you do is ritual. So you pay consciousness and understanding, gratitude, we can practice as a ritual Taoist. Karmic Taoist, those who believe in kindness. De, Dao De Jing, yeah. Dao De Jing, Dao, everybody knows Dao De Jing, Dao. That which can be said is not the Tao, that's the path, not the unusual. The path is the unusual path. 名可名非常名，道德经。德 means kindness, virtue. So, virtuous Taoists do only good, spread only good, no matter where you are. Flowers bloom. No matter where you are, people smile. No matter where you are, people get well. No matter where you are, people are happy and healthy. So those are like the Taoists, and you can practice that too. And there are, you mentioned healing, people who are into healing Taoists. Everything is about healing, nothing but healing. So I always ask the students who come to me and want to have a profession in the traditional Chinese medicine world, I ask a question. I ask, do people get well around you without you doing anything? If you achieve that, then this is your field. Otherwise, reconsider. Or do you like to be around people who are not feeling well? If you don't like to be around people who don't feel well, because you don't feel well, then you shouldn't be in this field. But if you don't mind, you don't even have a mind for it, then you're a healer. So there are many kinds of Taoists. This year's talk at the Taoist conference focuses on the concept and the ideas, practice, and experience. So experiences is important in Taoism, that you recognize your experiences. So it's a mind-heart together relationship. So this year's subject is going to be immortality. Quite a few good speakers is going to be here and talk about this subject. If you're interested, what is immortality? Why do people even write books about it or talk about it or try to study it? What does it mean? Is it I can live a long time? Or is it I exist after something? Or is it just a state of consciousness? It'd be a nice time to find out what people think about this, who have thought about some of this stuff, and what you think about it as well. Yeah. So I welcome you to the Taoist conference this year, held in Oakland, October,
21st.
what was it?
21st and 22nd.
21st, 22nd, and 23rd, 3 days. I talked to a friend of mine named Ken Cohen, who is a renowned Taoist. He will be speaking with Professor Hirsch. A wonderful, wonderful artist who describes the world through art and explains the Taoist path to you in such a manner. Wow. Nice. Solala may be there. Unique, eccentric, like salsa, fresh. It's fresh. And then Liu Ming will be there. Liu Ming will be there. Liu Ming is also an eccentric. Most of us are eccentric. For some odd reason. Great speaker, great intellect, wonderful to be in his presence. You can learn a lot. So there are a lot of people there, and all of you will be there too, to share and just to talk about Taoism. Any questions so far? Any answers? Recently, I was talking to a dear person, and he posed a question. He says, I'm looking for a mate, someone who I can be with, and it's been very difficult for me. And that I want this person to be named a list of things. They're all wonderful. One is able to listen, compassionate, loving, humorous. There's a willingness always. And then, and it was difficult for him to find a mate that matched all of those requirements and desires and, whatever, ideas. So, it's almost like asking for a mirror of yourself. And then you should probably have a mirror for yourself. It's not a bad thing to mirror yourself. So, and that's what we call the same as neishi. The eyes that are closed earlier can be opened and see in this way. Yeah? Neishi, we call it insight looking. So, in the five animal form, the tiger has two gazes. What are the two gazes of the tiger that you know of? Do. Yeah, you probably do. Natürlich. It's a.
I'm not familiar with the tiger's gazes.
Okay. There are two.
Friendly and fierce.
Mm-hmm.
Friendly and fierce?
Friendly and fierce is wonderful.
Was one of them I am? Or
Yes. One gaze is I am. One gaze is I am. I am as a gaze. I am. 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 I I am. I am. I'm a tiger. I am. Yeah, I'm a dragon. I am. I am. What's the second gaze?
You are.
You are. Then you're in the world of duality.
Just like Tiger has
Well, who've been through this in class before? Who's come to my Qigong class? Please raise your hand. And you should know the answer to this. Please offer the general public this information. 2 gazes. One is I am. Second one is anybody?
You are not
You're not.
in my eye.
Yeah, you're not. You're not in my eye. You're not in my eye. So it's a way of seeing. Yeah, very much like looking but not seeing. Was it seeing but not looking? Which way is it? Looking but not seeing. Seeing but not looking. Which way is it?
Looking but not seeing.
What is it?
Looking but not seeing.
Looking but not seeing. How about seeing but not looking?
Sounds better.
Yeah, I like them both. Yin and yang, the world of duality. So these are gazes and these are practices about the mirror, front of the mirror. Yeah. Attention back. If no questions, we're going to meditate for a while. Yes. Uno, dos.
Shifu, what did you tell the woman that was having the bad dream?
It's so important that you know what you're going to say than what I have to say. That's Taoism.
Yeah, but we still want to know.
Yeah, I'll tell you the story, don't worry. I love telling stories. So I will tell you the story, but it's important that you know. You know, the whole story about the monk that comes to the teacher and says, teacher, I've been with you for so long, I learned so much, time for me to go. Teacher said, it's dark outside. Let me give you a candle so you can shine. Teacher. The teacher gives him the candle. He holds the candle, and the teacher goes, It's a reminder that your heart, that your voice, that your being, that's important. It is. It's important. Yeah, but I can tell you stories.
So you talked a lot about the yin and the yang and the world of dualities. So the path of the Tao is to recognize those dualities, that they exist, perhaps?
Say it again.
So is the path of Taoism to recognize the dualities and therefore move beyond so that we are not shuttled back and forth?
Sounds good to me.
Thanks.
Sounds great.
The Zidagwang character is above your head?
You're asking me to a back bend.
Is that it to your left?
It's the Tao.
The
It's the Tao.
Okay. Where would the line be that separates the two ways, the two ideas, you said?
The line?
You said that the inside is the person, and there's a line, right?
So,
and there's a line.
So the self.
Self.
Yeah, the self. And there is the movement, and there's a line, and there's yin and yang.
So there's not, you're saying there's two lines, above and below? Or there's one
That's
line?
a different story.
Okay, so the one we're
The
talking about...
different story is chi. Chi is a line above and below. It's open-ended. You have a circle or a cross or something. Circle, triangle. Two things there. Yin and yang is defined by this. For the moment, for this particular moment.
So is the first character Zidagwang? The one with the self?
Right, that's chi.
That's true.
Right, chi is two lines of darkness, the self that moves, one's observe, view, perspective, understanding, experience of. Experience with a sutra, a poem. Somebody else has something to say. It's a great class. Everybody okay? We'll meditate for a while. So, my story. I told her exactly what all of you told her. Just exactly. You are everything. You are the dream, you are the dreamer, you are the emotions of angst, you are the emotion of fear, you are the emotion of clarity, you are the emotion, the feeling, the experience of movement, taking charge. You are also the one that needs to repeat this and feel from a dark place. It's perfectly okay to have a dark place. If there's light, there must be shadow. In the world of yin and yang, please give us space. Shadow can only follow the light. They come together in the world of yin and yang. So, no harm to have this feeling of, so we say you can reside in both worlds, the world of God and goddesses and deity, and this world, whatever this world means to you, demons or fear, whatever. You can have, what do you call it, access. You have access to these worlds. So we say, man, just go to the middle of it. Just go. Just go to the middle road. Don't be attached to this or that. Yin or yang. Don't get trapped in the world of duality. So all the same. 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 The Taoist perspective. That's why it was so wonderful. Take a deep breath. Be comfortable with yourself. We'll do a little bit of Qigong. Qigong is in the realm of Taoism. It's a realm of health practice of the Taoist. In the Huangdi Neijing, in the chapter where Huangdi was asking questions about what a real person is, Zhenren was described, what a real person is. Zhenren is a state of being where you're beyond yin and yang. You're beyond all differences. It's a practice. It's a way of being, a way of seeing, viewing yourself, whatever you feel, you sense, you see, inside and out. Meditation is the easiest way to access this. That's why so many wonderful traditions use meditation as part of its teaching. The word meditation can be translated as Jing Zuo. Jing means stillness, still, without struggle. Zuo means in the seat of or sit. Sit in the seat of without struggle. Be comfortable with yourself. Jing. Zuo, in the seat of. Jing, still, without struggle. Sit in the seat of. I'm comfortable with myself without struggle. Qigong is a practice of breath, mind, and form. Clear your mind. Still your heart. Calm. Recognize your lower dantian. Recognize the space we call lower dantian. energy source can be gathered. Little dantian, your heart, which you stilled. Upper dantian, your shen, your spirit, which you clear. Clear your mind, still your heart. Recognize your primordial force. This is Nei Dan practice, Jing Zuo practice, Xing Qi practice. Xing means movement of qi. Yun Qi practice, transportation of qi. Xu, you can gather at any of the centers, any of the houses, any of the fields. You can disperse. You can guide, Dao, Dao. You can lure, entice, Ying, Dao Ying. You can guide. You can suggest energy movements within your body. Using your mind, using your body as a form, using qi as a vehicle. Just for about a second, hold your breath. Okay. Continue to breathe, whichever direction. Whether you're inhaling or exhaling. Take a movement and stop in the breath path and continue. This is called interrupted breath, Qigong practice. Just allow a pause of your breath. In this pause, you have Wuji, and you have a continuation of movements, whether it's inhale or exhale. This pause allows you to rejuvenate. It's in the pauses, it's in the stillness that we gain. We gain. We gain the knowledge of the universe, the energy and understanding of everything. Combine your mind, your breath, your spirit, your essence, with your breath and your body as one. Learn how to go to the different houses and learn how to circulate, transport, direct, lure, guide energy. Natural things will happen to you. You just observe those and let it happen. Whenever you feel uncomfortable, just open your eyes or have one thought. All it takes is one thought. Only one thought can change. Let your breath be soft, gentle, long, deep, even, and light. This is called 六字诀. Six sounds, 6 words. To let you enter your channels, your organs, and visit your internal terrain. This is Qigong practice. But you have to be so relaxed and yet so focused. So relaxed, so comfortable, and so focused. You have to be free. Let your breath be long, soft, deep, thin, even, light. Try to listen to your breath. Can you hear it? It should be very hard to hear. If you hear your own breath, you're too loud. You're too coarse. You're too rough. Even your breath, even your mind, even your heart, even your body, even your spirit. Relax and focus. Let the chi flow in your body freely. Whatever needs to happen, just let it happen. See where it wants to go. There'll be many natural things that happens to you. You have like pulsation, you have tingling, you have heat, you have ants crawling, you have electrical, you have water balloon bursting, you have flooding, you have percolating, you have tingling, you have electric, you have shaking, you have earthquake, you have thunder, you have wind blowing through you, you have cold, you have hot, you have light, you have dark. It's just all natural. Allow chi to fill your body. Let chi do you. One part is to command, one part is to follow. As you guide your chi, sometimes it moves you, sometimes you must summon, call on it. Choose the appropriate one for yourself. If you have any saliva, as you swish your tongue around your mouth, swallow the saliva in 3 gulps. So sometimes you swallow some air, you have to burp it out. Otherwise, just take the fluid and swallow it 3 times. Like I said, it's a practice. You know, you're going to do it. The saliva in our mouth is called shen shui. Shen means spirit. Spirit. Shui means water, fluid. The spirit of water is gathered in your mouth. Sometimes you can take a sip of something like water, and you squish and get saliva, and you swallow it in 3 times, just so that you really enjoy it and taste it. And we call that shen shui because it tonifies the yin in the body. The yin in the body. There's ways to get yin, that fluid in the body. There's ways to get yang, sunshine in the body. You should learn both. Let your breath be long, deep, soft, thin, light. You should not hear your breath. Soft, long, deep, thin, even, light. Let the sound of the gong be your tour guide. It's an energy you can ride on.